Okay, so let me welcome you to this free training on how to build a $100,000 a month business online. And what we are going to be paying attention to is how to first, how do you get your first $1,000 a month online? So that's the big plan. The big plan is how to take this business from $1,000 a month and take it to $100,000 a month. There are a lot of strategies online and there are a lot of ways people are making money online. But this whole, what I'm just trying to communicate here is you finding your own path. And I'll be explaining how you can find your own path. Because one thing I notice is there are trends out there, trends in such a way that you will see what people are doing and you want to adopt what they're doing. And you find that it's not working for you. How do you find your own path? You know why? Because everyone is different and everyone can build a business that impacts lives, a business that changes lives, a business that makes a difference in its own way. And that's the whole idea. So that's the goal. And this our goal is to help is to create 1,000 online businesses in Africa that are providing global solutions. And this is going to be online. And it's very, very easy to do. If you follow me on this journey and understand. Now, the first thing we will need to tackle is this. Let's ask ourselves this question. Let's get this question out of the way. What exactly is money? Because if you don't define money properly, you will think you don't have money, and most times we keep chasing something that is money and we don't understand why that thing that is called money is not even getting closer to us. Why don't we have enough money? So what exactly is money? You see somebody, they will say, oh, that person is loaded. That person has a lot of money. If you're in Kenya, if you're in Ghana, if you're in Nigeria, you will sometimes admire somebody that has a lot of Kenyan shillings, that has a lot of cedis, that has a lot of naira. But what exactly is money? Money is simply a conversion. This is why you see banks have only one product. The product is cash. So that conversion is cash. So anything that can be converted to cash can be described as money. So now the next question we need to understand is what exactly is wealth? You see, oh, this person is wealthy, this person is wealthy, this person is wealthy. What does it mean that somebody is wealthy? Wealth is simply you have identified anything you can always convert to money. And that money can either be converted to cash. So let me give you an example. Let's say you currently have 20 million Kenyan shillings. In Kenya, you will be considered, well, that guy has money. Let's say now you relocate to the UK and they're using pounds in the UK. And you walk into a shop and you want to give them Kenyan shillings. What will happen? They are most likely going to reject your Kenyan shillings. So you have 20 million Kenyan shillings and you find yourself in the UK. Finding yourself in the UK, different environment, you're not considered someone that has money. Your 20 million Kenyan shillings is worthless in that environment unless you convert it. So we will need to understand that there's so many things that go into conversion of what is perceived as wealth into money. When you understand this logic, it's easy for you to implement it online. I will give you a very good example. Let me share my story. My name is Cobe, and in 2009, I was working for a company. While working for this company, I was being paid what you might consider, if I'm to do the conversion today, let's say I was paid about less than, this is less than $50 every month. It's far less than even $50 every month if you're going to do the conversion rates. Less than $50 every month. It was so pathetic, it was so sad that anytime I receive my salary, I have already spent that salary because I have borrowed throughout the month. So my salary was just going out to pay for what I borrowed the few previous months. So anytime I was not even expecting, I was not excited having my salary because I know I was going to use it to settle the debts of the previous month so that I can borrow to pay with the next month. So that cycle continued for 2 good years. So I was asking my friend a question, and I said, what can we do? I cannot keep going in this circle. And I found out that I had so many things that I could sell. I had so many things and abilities I could sell, but I did not know how to do it. And that's what I'll be explaining in this class. So let me tell you what happened. When I finally discovered what I could sell, the next question I asked is, who will want this solution? What will I price this solution? What is the best way to deliver this solution? And I did everything online. By then, Facebook was the only major platform. I think there was YouTube, but Facebook was the only major platform where I was at that time. So I sold it and I started making my own salary in a day, in a week. It first started in a week, then in a day, and sometimes I would make 4 times my salary in a day. So you ask, okay, how did you go about doing this? And that's what I'm going to explain, because what I discovered, you can also apply it. Any other person can also apply it. But at the end of the day, what makes that difference is the result you get and the journey you're going to take yourself through. Now, this is what I would discourage. This is not a quick fix. This is something you need to sit down and you need to brainstorm and you need to put into action, because you will keep struggling in the wrong thing when you don't find the right thing you're supposed to do to serve people and they pay for it. I've seen a lot of people, because this thing is easier, they go into it, and what they do is they end up spending years in doing something that is wrong, not for them. They feel unfulfilled, only for them to realize that after years in it, that, oh, I've wasted my time. Now, let me help you understand that in this thing I'm going to teach you, you're not going to waste your time. You're going to understand this. So now let me break this down and help you understand it from the foundation. Now if you're like me, I believe everything started with God. If you believe in the creation, and if you're a Christian and you understand how the world was created, the Bible will tell you that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So it started with God, and God creates the earth. But there was one big thing. There was a big problem. The earth was in darkness and was void. Darkness filled the earth. That was a major problem. And God said, let there be light. Now, that was really the first profession. I will go into that some other times, because some people think that farming and all that was the first profession. No. Information was the first profession that God established. Now, the earth was in darkness and God said, let there be light, and there was light. And from there, you will see that a lot of things were created. I would normally say this, I make this statement: God made everything, but He created nothing. Now, somebody will ask, what do I mean by that statement? God made everything, but He created nothing. What I mean is this: God made sand, but He did not create houses. You created the houses. You and I created the houses. Human beings created the houses. God made trees, but He did not create furniture. God made plants, but He did not create clothes. This house were hidden in the sand. This furniture were hidden in the trees. These clothes were hidden in the plants. These shoes were hidden in the back of the skin of animals. So what I am trying to say in essence is, everything you see around you today was hidden, and it was all hidden in what He has created. The question here is this: how do you discover what you are not only born to do, but what is your own secret wealth? Because if you look at it today, if you see the pharmaceutical industries, the pharmaceutical industry, the furniture industry, the plastic industry, tire industry, the rubber industry, all came from trees. Just imagine that. Everything, when you walk into a pharmacy today, everything you see there came from the back of trees. Most of them, and some of them from plants. Yes, some of them are synthetic, but you see, pharmaceutical industry, the furniture industry, plastic comes from trees, tires, rubber come from trees, and each of this industry is over $1 billion. They generate over billions of dollars every year, because they are solving a problem. So what God did was He created the solution inside a tree, soil, and all we needed to do was to uncover this solution and use the solution, identify the problem, and from that problem, exchange the solution for the with the person that has the problem, and it's in that exchange cash comes into play, money comes into play in that exchange. When you're exchanging problem for solution, that is how you make money today. I'm exchanging problem for solution. When you do that exchange, that is where money comes. Think about it. The construction industry, everything, real estate, the roofing industry, technology. Yes, technology came from the soil. What powers technology today is silicon. Silicon comes from the soil. Automobile, everything comes from the soil. And all these industries solve one problem. If it's healthcare, it solves a healthcare problem. If it's pharmaceutical industry, if it's a roofing industry, it solves a roofing problem. All of them solve one problem. Now, God made wealth, but He did not create money. We are the ones that created money. We are the ones that He gave that knowledge, He gave that understanding to create money. And that's why you see we have in US dollars, we have in the UK pounds, in your own country it has its own currency because that's the way they identify the medium of exchange. So the question here is this. God has better plans for you, but the problem is here is this. How do you discover that money, that wealth you need to be focused on creating? I don't know what you're currently doing today. What I'm just advising is some of you might currently be in a job you just hate. You just don't like your boss, you just don't like the kind of job you're doing. And not only that, you don't feel good about yourself. And secondly, you are very, very, very expectant. And every day you're disappointed because you don't see how your dreams can be realized. You don't see how you can find fulfillment. This, if you understand this very well, just go and apply it, and you will see the kind of results. Let me tell you what the kind of results you can expect in the next 2, 3 months. Understanding this, what you can expect is your finances are going to change. Your living conditions are going to change. Some of the things you walk into a shop and you look at, and before you just say, wow, my salary in the next 2 years cannot even buy this item. You will see that you can get those items and you can buy more than one of that item. Yes, you can get those items and you can buy more than one of that item. You will be able to employ others, empower others, feed families. Now, I'm just saying this for you to feel okay, but I want you to understand that everything, even where you're working at currently, they solve a problem and they are being paid for that problem. I'm just telling you is how do you take this mindset and go online and build not just a company, build a global business, build a global business that is impacting lives. Now, God had a major plan. Yes, He had put all those hidden wealths in the plants and the soil, but think about it. He had bigger plans for man. He had bigger plans for me and you. And this wealth God had put in us were in our skills, our ability, our experience, our knowledge, and our ideas. Ask yourself these questions. Look at this way. If you're going to make if you're going to make $1,000 in a month, you will need to understand how do you convert wealth, these skills, these abilities, this knowledge, this talent you have into money. You will need to create it in such a way that people see it and want to. Now, let me explain how I did that. So, I found out that people were taking certification exams. I didn't have the money to take certification exams, but I knew one thing. When people are taking certification exams, two things happen. They will have issues in taking the certification exam. One, they will need the knowledge. A lot of them will need the knowledge in taking the certification exams. So what I did was I packaged the entire training for a particular certification exam and I sold it to people. When I sold it to people, I knew who my target audience were. I knew everybody was not going to do that exam, but I identified who my own target audience is, and I'll be helping you understand target audience because you can't sell to everybody. You have a set of growing audience. You need to identify it that you will need to sell what you are what you are currently selling, because when you identify your target audience, it's easier for them to identify with the problem and easier for them to get the solution. So this is really how money comes about. So from the wealth, you need to create one solution. I'll be helping you understand that one solution will solve one problem. But you see, the big question now will be this: what is that skill you have that you have had it for a long while and you are so good at it, but you don't know how to get people to pay you for it? What is that skill? Now, let me give you a very good example. Somebody can know how to talk very well. Talking very well is a very, very good skill. I want you to write down your own skill. Write down that skill that is very, very good. You know, some people can talk too much. Some people talk too much. And they'll say, oh, you talk too much. They have always told you, you talk too much. That's a skill. God has blessed you with that skill. Now you ask and say, okay, how will that help? Let me give you an example. A lot of people have created good podcasts online. One of the best podcasts online is making nothing less than $1 to $3 million every month. Now, this is what the podcast is making, apart from sponsorship, apart from endorsements. It's making that online, and the person is being paid to talk because that is a skill. Because that is a skill. So imagine if somebody like that goes to start doing all these things you see that are trending today. Oh, I am joining an affiliate marketing, all those things. Yes, those things are good. But all those things can be implemented on that platform you create to display your skill. So what is that skill you have? What is that skill you have, and what is that skill that people have said, man, it's either they have complained that you do too well in it, or you do it too much, but it's your skill. So the next one will be, what is your ability? What is that talent? You see, some people are very, very talented. Somebody is very, very good at drawing. Somebody is just very, very good at connecting the dots. One of my skills, one of my talents I realized was my ability to connect dots. So I could just look at something and I can just connect the dots and understand what the problem is and what the solution is. Somebody had to help me identify that. And that's what I want to help you identify. What is your own talent? Now you ask the question, what will talent do? Now, talent is a very, very good thing. I don't know if you've listened to, I'm sure you have watched this. If you're in Africa, I'm sure you've watched this. If you go on YouTube, you might have seen one of his videos before. It's called The Mark Angel Show. This young man was very talented in using the camera, and he has created what I call a digital asset online that generates nothing less than $300,000 for him. There's a time he said he was doing that every week. There's a time sometimes he does that in 2 weeks. Now he has created multiple channels for this. What is your talent? Some people are very good at photocopying. Sorry, they're very good at photographing. Some are very good at using maybe Photoshop. They're very good at drawing. Somebody might be very, very good at just something, a talent that you enjoy doing, but you don't know how to monetize it. I want you to write that down. Because all these things are going to make up what I will look at, and I will tell you that focus on this, and this is how you can convert that to wealth, and this is where you should do it. Now, some people are very good at coming up with ideas. I'm very sure somebody has told you before that, man, you have too many ideas. Why don't you implement them? Let me tell you one thing. Some people might be very, very good at coming up with ideas, may be very bad at implementing them. And you might feel very bad. You might feel that you are not finishing the process. Oh, I'm very good at coming up with ideas, but I don't finish the process, meaning I don't know how to implement. And your ideas are very, very good. You know what the problem is? You might be very good at coming up with ideas, and you might be weak at implementing. And you think that maybe you have a problem, or maybe you have a spiritual problem. I don't think you really have a spiritual problem because your strength is coming up with ideas. So the question now is, how do you, an idea merchant, you're the factory of ideas, how do you now convert that knowledge of coming up with ideas? How do you create wealth? If you look online today, there are a lot of ideas. What rules today is ideas. You see, coming up with different ideas for content, coming up with different ideas for an online strategy. All these are ideas. So you might really be an idea strategist. You might really be somebody that should be selling his ability to come up with ideas. Because can I tell you, one strange thing is that people find it hard coming up with ideas. Today, a lot of people are finding it hard to think. Thinking today is now a very scarce commodity. People are finding it hard to think because we have gadgets today. Technology is making a lot of things easier and making a lot of us lazy. So people are finding it very hard to think. People are finding it very hard to even read. Let me ask you the question. When last did you read a book? A long time ago. Why? Because a lot of things are now at our disposal. We can just Google it, we can just check our phone, watch a video on it. Very few people are exercising that part of the brain that helps you stay relevant with new ideas, stay fresh with new ways of thinking. Maybe your job is to help people think. Maybe that's what your assignment is. Now, the next one is knowledge. A lot of people have acquired knowledge. I will normally make this joke that we are acquiring knowledge, but we don't understand what we need to do with that knowledge. Somebody the other day was telling me that she wants to learn how to design websites because she hears that designing websites will make you a lot of money. I said, that's true. I said, after you design websites and learn how to design websites, how will you get customers? She said, okay. Because I know a lot of people that are very good at designing websites, but they don't have customers. So they are currently working in a job, being frustrated in a job, but they have knowledge and they are passionate about that knowledge, but they don't know how to make it a business. They don't know how to make it an online business. They don't know how to. Just imagine this. Somebody is currently collecting less than $100 every month. Imagine that. But the person is very good at website design. And there's somebody out there ready to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for you to create a website for them. Now, how do you bridge this person to this person? This person is going to pay, is collecting less than $100 every month. So in 1 year, the person collects $1,200, and somebody is willing to pay $2,500 for a website. What this person is going to earn in 2 months, sorry, in 2 years. But he has a skill that can change his financial level, but he doesn't know how to apply it. Write that down. What is that knowledge you have? What is that thing you are going to acquire that you know that this is what you're passionate about, but you don't know? Somebody told me something. They said, honestly, what I am passionate about might not be monetized. Everything can be monetized as long as you can identify the problem it solves. Our problem is that we can't identify the problem, and we just think because it's not popular, it's not one of the shining objects out there, that it cannot be monetized. That's a very big lie. Anything can be monetized. Anything can be monetized as long as it solves the problem. Now, let me explain something. Yes, there are different levels of problems. I'll be explaining that later, and I don't want to start confusing you, so let's stick to this. So, let me give you some very, very good example. Let me give you an example with Sam. Sam is very good. Now, this young man was selling phone cases some 10 years ago, and the business crashed. But he wanted funding and he couldn't get funding. And he had to go online and he learned a skill and he learned knowledge. Let me just explain what he did. What Sam did was he went online and he started learning how to make popcorn. Making popcorn was the knowledge he got, and he was asking himself, what does he do with this kind of knowledge? And there are two ways he can, monetize that kind of knowledge. Now he created the popcorn, but he created something different. Imagine popcorn that is tasting like orange, tasting like apple, tasting like pineapple, tasting like all the fruits you know. It's not the conventional kind of popcorn. So what he did was he He changed the industry for popcorn by introducing a new way to look at popcorn. Now, he can do so many things with that kind of knowledge. He can sell this as a book and help other people to start that kind of business. That is one. He can keep selling that popcorn. That is two. He can go into creating digital assets and teach people online how to create that popcorn. Any which way, he is going to generate money from that knowledge, from that ability. Now, Amma is someone that is very good at writing, and she is a very good speaker. Now, the question was, what kind of business is he? I think this is Amma is the name of a she. Is she most likely going to look at? She's very good at writing and she's very good at speaking. These two today are called tools. They are very, very important tools because let me explain the difference between why they are called tools and the difference, the impact a tool can make. Amma can decide to write about business. Amma can decide to write about children's books, or sorry, something related to children. It's how you implement that ability to write that determines the results you will get. Let me explain. If I write for business, the business sector, I am most likely to charge more because these people generate revenue. If you write for children's books, you are most likely to charge less because they are dependent on someone that has money. So you need to define where and who you're writing for. Very, very important. Very, very key. Now she can decide to do speaking. Now the thing about it is what she writes about should be what she speaks about, unless there will be conflict in her purpose. So what you write about should be what you speak about. That means you are using these tools for the same purpose, for the single objective, for that goal. So if Amma decides that she's going to write about, let's give an example. Let's say she's going to write about drop shipping. She writes about drop shipping and she decides she's going to speak about drop shipping. Amma can decide now that, okay, I will speak about drop shipping. I can speak on the podium. What if I create videos about drop shipping to solve a drop shipping problem? She can always sell those videos. Can you see that? So at the end of the day, she is applying these tools to that sector, that business sector called dropshipping. So it takes me to the next example. Stanley is a nice guy and he has been trying to date different girls in this area, but they just don't want him as a boyfriend. They prefer to have him as a friend. And he's passionate about relationships, but he feels he has failed in this area. Is this knowledge he can use to start an online business? Yes. Knowledge, experience, even if you have failed in it, is very important in starting an online business. There is nothing like learning from somebody that has failed in something. Somebody that has failed in it has a lot of experience on why, on how it feels to fail, and it's very easy for that person to understand the path to succeed. So Stanley can really go into relationship, or he can be a relationship expert even if he has failed in a relationship because he now knows what it means to fail, what he did to fail, and what he should start doing to succeed. So that will work. Now, Grace is an exceptional cook and she cooks very well. Her meals are very tasty. Now, she relocates to Canada and she has been jobless in Canada for over 2 years. What business can she start online? There's a lot of business Grace can start online. I'm saying all this because these are different examples giving you different aspects, how people have failed to identify they have wealth and they can always convert that to money. Grace doesn't necessarily need to cook. Grace can review cooking channels. Grace can sit down and look at everything from TikTok and join the TikTok partnership program or monetize or go on YouTube and review what other people are cooking and give her 2 cents on it. She can make it funny if she's funny. She can make it humorous if she has humor. She can add sarcasm to the whole thing, and create content that is cooking based. Since she might not afford to cook products, all she just needs to do is to review what others are doing. With that, she will be monetized and she can get revenue to start cooking. You see, the whole angle is understanding that online, it has opportunity for you to start from $0 if you want to. So the opportunities are there. So you will find that a lot of things are appropriate or applicable when you're online. From even popcorn, any idea you have, you can always implement it online. All you just need to understand is how do you go from this idea, this is my skill, this is my knowledge, and how do I break it down into something that should be monetized? I want you to write it down. I use these examples that I've shared with you to explain. Write it down and submit it to me, and I will tell you the next thing you need to do. If you're currently on the group, that's fine. If you're seeing this any place online, maybe you check the comment section and see if there's any link for you to submit this to me so that I can just help you and guide you on the next step you need to do, what you really need to start focusing on. Now, the big problem most people will have is this. One big problem is you find that you have so many skills or you have so many knowledge. You need to, I'll help you understand which one you should focus on. You know why? Let me give you this example. Let's say you currently have in your house 20,000 air conditioners. 20,000 air conditioners. Now each of those air conditioners might be, I'm saying might be about $300 to $500. Might be $300 to $500. 20,000 air conditioners. Now when I come out to your compound, it's large enough and it has over 2,000 vehicles. All there. These vehicles are all there and they all belong to you. Would you consider yourself broke? Even if you have $0 in your account. You know why you will not consider yourself broke? Because you just look at it and say, I have 2,000 vehicles sitting out there, I have 50, up to 20,000 air conditioners. I can just sell them. That's the same thing. What you have currently, because it's not very common, you don't understand how to convert it. The problem here is the conversion, because we all know that people buy cars, people buy air conditioners. It's easier for our brain to tell us, you just need to sell it. But because now we're looking at it from, oh, I have experiences, who will be interested in my experience? People will be interested in your experiences. The problem is you don't know how to monetize them. And let me tell you, digital knowledge, knowledge that is packaged, sells better. You only create it once and you can keep eating from it. You can create it once and convert it to different forms. An ebook can be converted to a video, an ebook can also be converted to swipe files, cheat sheets. An ebook can be converted to more ebooks. An ebook can be converted to an online course. An ebook can be converted to a membership site. Do you understand this? And that's how you just create your own digital empire, bringing you revenue from different places. And the big thing about this is that you're not limited to your local environment. You have a global reach because online gives you a global reach. So I want you to do that assignment and I want you to get back to me. Find that solution that will bring you $1,000 in a month. That is what we'll be looking at. When you finish this, just send me a DM. These are my skills. These are the things I really believe that are my skills, my knowledge. And I will see you in the next class. Thank you very much. My name is Cobe, and I want you to have a very wonderful day.